All right, good evening. It is 5:30. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you'd please silence your cell phones and join us in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Would you take the roll, please, Chris?
Councilmember Rowe. Councilmember Stevens.
Here.
Councilmember Myers.
Here.
Councilmember Berg.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dalby.
Here.
Items on the consent agenda. Minutes from regular meeting number 35 on December 17th, 2019 as presented. Approve the proclamation for January 26th through February 1st, 2020 as a school choice week. Acknowledge November financial statement and payment of bills as submitted by the Finance Department. Approve reappointment of Tom Maher to the Inspection Board of Review, term to expire 1/18/2025. Approve the appointment of John Hanks to the position of the wastewater plant operator at the Water Pollution Control Facility effective December 30th, 2019. Approve the appointment of Haley Rose to the full-time position of Communications Specialist for the Ottumwa Police Department effective January 8th, 2020. Approve the appointment of Michael Ortega to the full-time position of Communications Specialist for the Ottumwa Police Department effective January 9th, 2020. Approve the appointment of Troy Fadiga to the position of Wastewater Plant Operator at the Water Pollution Control Facility effective on or about January 27th, 2020. Approve the payment to Computer Information Systems Incorporated for $19,831 for a one-year license renewal and maintenance agreement for the Police Department's in-house computer software. Authorize city staff to work with Piper Jaffray on consulting for Divisions 2 and 3 of the CSO projects and refinancing of existing debt by executing an engagement letter. Approve the emergency retubing of one digester heat exchanger for the Water Pollution Control Facility in the amount of $8,478. Resolution number 6, 2020, setting February 4th, 2020 as the date of a public hearing on the disposition of city-owned property located at 102 North Ransom. Beer and/or liquor applications for Tequila Grill at 112 North Market Street, La Guadalupana at 301 Church Street, all applications pending final inspections.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Berg.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes. Okay, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So move.
Second.
Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens.
Yes.
Councilmember Myers.
Yes.
Councilmember Berg.
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby.
Yes. Okay, at this time, I'll go ahead and turn the meeting over to Administrator Lazio for his report.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Shay Greiner to come and speak to us about the project termed Lemonade Days and give us an update on what you're planning, and we are going to be doing a proclamation for you. So,
Yes.
Shay, you have the floor.
So GoPip is actually in charge of it, but AJ is our chairperson, and so he will actually be talking to you about it today.
AKA Shay didn't want to talk, so you guys get to listen to me for a few minutes, but I'll make it brief.
So not true.
So I just need a few minutes of your time. We won't make this too long. Really just want to kind of make sure everyone's aware of what Lemonade Days actually is and the benefit that it will have in our community. So essentially it is a community-based educational program that gives youth the opportunity to start, own, and operate their first business. In this case, a lemonade stand. This is actually a national organization. There's several different Lemonade Day events across the nation. Interestingly enough, there are no events in the state of Iowa. So this will actually be the first Lemonade Day in the state of Iowa. The target audience for this is going to be Ottumwa 3rd and 4th grade students. And the educational materials that they will be given will be done so under the supervision of a mentor. The mentor audience that we're looking for really are going to be parents, teachers, grandparents, community organizations, maybe high school students, maybe community college students, etc. But they are taught with the help of that mentor 14 learning units. And through those units, they're learning how to set goals, create a budget, seek investors, choose locations, etc. So with those lemonade stands, we have a goal this year of 30 stands throughout the city with 2 participants, so 2 kids at each stand. We're looking at a total of 60 participants. The stands are going to be located at various local businesses. Actually, the students get to choose where they want to go. It's up to them to find their investor and to choose that location wisely. What's going to have the most traffic, where they're going to sell the most lemonade. So they get to make those asks, and they actually get to go out and put their lemonade stand there for the day. They're going to be judged in 3 categories: best tasting lemonade, best lemonade stand, and most entrepreneurial. And the funds that they make, they actually get to keep. So they're encouraged to spend some, they're encouraged to save some, and they're encouraged to give back to the community by giving to a local charity of their choice. So the cost for this, there's $2,500 for the city license to bring that event to Ottumwa. That expense has already been taken care of by the Regional Entrepreneurship Center at Indian Hills. The only other additional expense is $5 for the educational materials. So with the educational materials, you're looking at an entrepreneurial workbook for the students and a mentor guide for the mentors. That's $5. Those expenses we hope will be covered by the business sponsors. So what have we done so far? We've identified the city director, Shay. I'm the city champion, more of a spokesperson. We've assembled an advisory committee. We've got about 7 other individuals in the community that are helping put our best foot forward to bring the most successful event to the community. We've completed online training through the National Lemonade Day. We've got our website up and going. So next steps, we're actually opening up registration tomorrow on our website, lemonadeday.org/Ottumwa. We're going to have a Facebook event that'll be live tomorrow. We're going to have press releases in the near future. We're hoping to do a promotional event at Family Fest in March, on March 7th, I believe. We'll have a mentor training the week of March 16th. We'll start the education delivery in April and actually hold Lemonade Day on May 16th. So 30 stands at various organizations across our community. So we obviously need your support in making this event a success and hopefully building on to bigger, more robust events for years to come, building future generations of entrepreneurs, and in general, making stronger community connections. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I don't have I think it sounds great. And when you post or launch on Facebook and have the website, if you can make sure we get it over at the city so we can post
Absolutely.
it onto Facebook and maybe link it to the website as well.
Be great.
So I think that'd be great.
And I'll forward some information that Shay has shared with me to the council, and also we'll talk about the meeting when they're going to be coming in May. They're going to be coming back, so.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, Matt, excuse me, I look forward to more information too, because it does sound great. Sounds like a neat idea.
Great. Okay, thanks, AJ.
Thank you very
and
much.
Thanks, Shay. We'll keep in touch with you. Item number 2, we have Teresa Keck in the audience, and so I'd invite her to come to the podium. Teresa called and asked to be placed on the agenda for dealing with a problem with her property on North Elm. So Teresa, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I did put together a packet for each one of the council members. The first paper that you have is a brochure. This is our business, KG Corporate Living, that my husband and I have here in Ottumwa. And in there is some photos of the homes that we have, tells you a little bit more about it. And if you don't already know, it is for the traveling workforce. So we house lots of travelers that come through Ottumwa, maybe John Deere workers, Alliant Energy, Mid-America, Ottumwa Regional, things like that. So the reason that I'm actually here, though, is to speak about a situation that we've had at 1422 North Elm Street. And this has actually been going on now for 5 months. I've got a timeline and then some other documents. That's really for your review. I'll let you kind of look that over. If you have questions, then I'll be happy to answer them. But what happened was September 10th, I received a letter from the city that you have a copy of and some photos saying that there was a sewer problem at this address and that we were responsible for this repair. Right away, I was, of course, alarmed because of a sewer. I thought there might be a backup. Spoke with the plumber. We investigated the house, inspected it. There was nothing there. He had advised me to call another plumbing service in town with a camera. We ran the camera out from our basement, and then we did it out from the clean out to the street. it ran the whole way and then was inconclusive. So they really felt like, to dig it up was the only way to tell what was actually going on. The next morning, my husband and I went in to speak with Nancy. And the reason for this was the experts that had looked at it, plus us, it just didn't really make sense because there had been a lot of construction going on Elm Street for the spring and summer of 2019. We mow all of our properties, so we travel that a lot. And so it just seemed odd that all of a sudden we get a letter saying this is our responsibility and everything is working fine in our home. We spoke with Nancy, and I guess it was, I work with the city a lot. I work with the health department because I've had rentals for 10 years, corporate housing for 2 years. It wasn't a the meeting was very pressured, I guess, basically showing me these photos saying, this is the problem, this is your problem, you need to fix it. It's $5,000 to $7,000. That was an issue. And, but anyway, we felt like, I said, I have home serve on other properties, not on this particular one. She told me there was no time for that. This should have been done yesterday. Basically, I did give the go-ahead to one of the plumbers. That was going to be done. You can read, there's other things that happened during this. The final piece, we did have to call in DP Plumbing for an estimate. When my husband met him, he told us it would be less than $10,000. HomeServe came back, they denied the claim after they had already said they would pay for this. I spoke with DP Plumbing because I didn't understand, and I asked for the bid. She emailed me that bid, and you have a copy of that. It concerned me that in that bid, on what we would be paying for, our insurance was going to be paying for, was repair to the city main. I've talked to 3 experts in this field, and it's been my understanding, the homeowner is responsible for the home to the main. City is responsible for the main. So it concerned me. Upon doing this, it just did not settle right with my stomach. Looking back at these photos, when we had our meeting with Nancy, she had said how urgent this was. During our talk, she informed me that when the city found this problem, when she was called, the street was dug up. They found the problem. They called in a truck with rock. They covered the problem up with rock. Then they called in a cement truck and they patched it with cement. Then they sent me a letter 19 days later. So I work closely with the city. I'm a member of the community, and the properties that we have, we take care of. I felt like, I guess, I've not been taken care of with this situation. Looking back at these photos, these were dated from August 22nd and August 27th. The letter was signed off on September 5th from the city. So had this been so urgent, they knew about it August 22nd. And if it was so urgent, I know that I look it up all the time. It takes 2 minutes to get on your phone and look at the assessor site, who owns this property. While the street was already torn up, I believe it would have been the best thing to call me to find out who owns the property. I own the property. Call me. Whoever would have owned the property. Let's fix it right then if this is such an urgent matter. Instead, it was covered up. So I checked the property today. The property has an engineer and her family that have been living in the home. There is no signs of any backup. There's no signs of anything in our home. And we noticed on Sunday, January 5th, was the first time I've noticed someone has put up barricades in the street. At this point, we asked DP Plumbing. They were, the bid was $14,000. And this is something that is supposed to come out of our pocket. So I've asked them to stop. They are not the ones. In September, I gave the okay to Little Daddy's Plumbing and Trenching with Daniel Schroeder. This work still has not been done. due to weather, not to weather now, but weather in September, it had rained a lot, so they weren't able to get to it. But now I think they've had other calls. I don't exactly know why. But why? And so I called to be on the docket back in December because if this is truly our responsibility, of course we will take care of that. We take care of all of our properties, and I take great pride in what our properties look like. And I encourage people here almost every day. I deal with people that are coming to our town. I am promoting our city. I am showing them the restaurants, giving them tours. And I feel like, though, this isn't right. Now, I want the truth, I guess. And so I'm asking for your help that if this is our problem, if it can be proven that this is our problem, we are gladly to pay for it. But to me, it feels like they had all this work that was done on this street for so long that what if a contractor, I don't think it was all city official. I think other contractors ran. What if they're the ones that hit the main and again, it was covered up? And during all this, I think is noted, when I knew I had to pay out of pocket, I called my insurance agent and asked if our homeowner's insurance would cover this. She informed me there's 2 other clients that has their insurance through her, and they both have letters that they receive from the city as well, and they live around Elm Street. And I think one of them is in a, there may even be some court dealings with that. So I want you to be aware, because this isn't the way that any of us should be treated. And my business, I'm proud of our business, and I'm proud to live in Ottumwa, and I don't want this to happen to anyone else. And so I guess I would just like you to look into it, and I'm hoping that it would be something that the city would take care of.
I told Teresa before the meeting tonight that we would accept her photographs and letter and refer it to our engineering and public works department and ask for a recommendation at the next meeting. So we will follow through and do that, and we'll get back in touch with you and see what we can do to make this fair for everybody involved. So is there any other questions or comments?
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
If you paid for home serve, why wouldn't they pay to have your sewer fixed?
Great question. When I spoke with the supervisor at HomeServe, his name is Brandon Anderson, I had emailed him the letter from the city and all the photos. And based on everything he had, he approved it. Because Little Daddy's Trenching, they were not contractors for HomeServe. That's when HomeServe sent a message to DP Plumbing. And so DP Plumbing came. And so during our conversation with HomeServe, they said insurance was covered up to $10,000. So when my husband met, it was a young man from DP, I'm not sure who that was, and they met, and my husband asked, will this job be under $10,000? And he said, oh yes, of course, this will not be near $10,000. The next thing I knew, I received a call from HomeServe, and they said, your claim is denied. And I said, why is that? And he said, the claim is denied. And so I called DP Plumbing. And I asked for the quote, and she said the bid was $14,000. So it was over the amount that we were insured for. So my thought is they saw that it was way over. It drew a flag to that. And so they denied the claim. And so as we were talking, that's when it was brought to my attention that there's part of this that's not normally taken care of by the homeowner, and that I believe they had been asked that this was going to be repaired in that actual repair as well, which was the main.
And do you know who dumped the rock and the concrete in there?
I believe that conversation is what we had with Nancy. So I believe it was whoever opened this up when they were working. It could have been around the time of this photo. Well, I don't know. I believe she's the one that told me that when we met with her in person. But she was actually, when they found the void, when the city found the void, it's my understanding that she was called to the site.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank
We'll,
you.
we'll take it under advisement and look at all the documentation, and there has been a lot of construction out there with water
Right.
mains and other things, so
Yeah.
we'll certainly do a thorough job when we review it.
Thank you. I appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank you, Teresa. The next item on the agenda is our plan at this time, and this is a combination of things that Joni Keith and I have worked out with the Mulder and Company out of Des Moines. We have 3 candidates that we are going to be presenting to the city council and to the city as a whole. We're planning that they would come in on Friday, the 24th, get a tour of the city. We've already arranged with Andy Wartenberg and Fred Zessinger to take them on a tour of the city and show them around and show them both residential and industrial commercial places. They'll come back and have supper that evening with council. And then Saturday morning, the 25th, we would start the actual interview process. And we have 3 groups. We'll have a city group made up of city departments and supervisors. We'll have a public group made up of just people in the community. And then, of course, the council. And we'll spend Saturday morning doing that, break for lunch. And then in the afternoon, the council will go into a closed session to decide if they want to make a formal offer and what that offer would be. So that's the tentative plan at this point. And I think I just had conversation with Mr. Mulder yesterday, and I will be talking with him again tomorrow. So I think we're all set and ready to go, and we'll get the announcements out about people that want to meet him at Bridgeview. We're hoping we can do just a short presentation where they would introduce themselves, tell them a little bit about themselves, and give the public a chance to meet them and ask them questions and give the council some feedback. So it'll be a very open process, and we're pleased that we have 3 good candidates. Okay. Number 4 on the agenda, I just enclosed in your packet this week the rules for our meeting, our resolution for operating the council meetings. We haven't changed anything, although I did hear from a couple of council people that you might want to consider changing the time to an earlier start time. And we decided we'll give you the time to look this over and think about it between now and the 21st. And at that point, you can tell me what your pleasure is, and we'll go accordingly. So look it over. It sets out the first and third Tuesdays, time and procedures, getting things on the agenda, rules of order, and that type of thing. So it's very standard. So, okay, that's all. I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. All right, this is the time where we identify citizens who wish to comment on agenda items. And we ask that if you do, you'd step up to the rail here and grab one of the forms there, fill that out and hand it to one of our staff, and they will make their way up here and hand it to our city clerk. And then we can call you up when that item comes up for discussion. And with that, we can move on to departmental recommendations.
Approving the agreement and consent to lien for water service costs for 316 East Main Street in connection with the Ottumwa Main Street project, also known as Downtown Streetscape. Recommendation: authorize the mayor to sign the agreement and consent to lien for water service costs for 316 East Main Street.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor.
welcome.
This is an additional agreement for the 300 block. When we brought the previous agreements to council, this one had not been signed at the time. And we're just bringing it back to clean up the whole block. Therefore, the water service from the stop box into the building, that's considered a private service. We chose to go time and material on this item in order to track the actual cost, and then we will invoice each owner.
Okay. Is there any comments or questions for Larry?
I have one additional thing I'd add. We will be starting for the 200 block. We have all the agreements drafted. We wanted to wait until we got a little further along for we could give each owner kind of the opportunity to decide, and the timing would be to where we could tell them when the construction would occur and work with them on temporary water shutdowns.
Okay. All right. Seeing no questions or comments, go ahead and take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes. Thanks, Larry.
Appointment of mayor and city planning director to the Rippling Waters Board of Directors effective January 2020. Recommendation, approve the appointment.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, is there any questions on this item? Anybody want to comment?
I would just share for the public that Rippling Waters is going to be a freestanding organization and will be an opportunity for us as a city to work with them. And it should actually reduce some of our costs going forward on some of the placarded houses and downtown buildings that need to be rehabbed. So it's, I think, a win-win for them and for us, and a good opportunity for us to have some direct input with moving those properties into a more repairable state at their expense, not our expense.
Sounds good. Okay. Take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Bid report to reject bids received for the citywide fire extinguisher services. Recommendation, reject all bids.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Larry, you have the floor.
We was requested as a department to go out and look at the fire extinguisher needs for the entire city and try to come up with a bid system that would accommodate each department. After reviewing the bids that we did receive and after additional internal discussions and considering current budget constraints, it was determined that we would reject all bids and the Ottumwa Fire Department would inspect and manage the fire protection certification needs of the city of Ottumwa. I believe the administrator has or will be sending out a directive in that form.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Facilities maintenance report, mayor and city engineer Dolman reporting. Recommendation, receive presentation.
I'll
Okay.
take that, man. Thank
You
you.
bet.
Some time ago, I asked our city staff about the repair and maintenance of all of the city property, and we do have a number of holdings, and it seemed to me that we needed to have some type of a preventive maintenance plan. So I asked city engineer Dwight Doman to begin working on this, and I'm really pleased with his work and the fact that we have a very detailed report. He's going to share that with you and just highlight it tonight. We're not going to take any action on it tonight, but we just want to get it in front of you so you understand what we're trying to do. So Dwight, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. If you recall, several years back, prior to the renovations that we began at the beach, we went through a detailed evaluation process. That's a similar type of process what we're doing here. You know, we're looking at the structure, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, the entire exterior skin of the building, and energy efficiency provisions that were called out in previous energy audits that remain to be done is all included in this. So we went through and took a look at all the city facilities. And for the sake of the public, I'll just go through them all. What's included is the Beach Ottumwa, the Bridgeview Center, City Hall, fire stations number 1 and number 2, the Law Center, library, the Ottumwa Slow Pitch, the Public Works facilities, recycling, transit, and water pollution control facilities. Now, as you know, the Law Center is a county facility, and but the request came to us to include this in this evaluation process. So that information has been shared with the county sheriff at this time. The very first page of the information that I gave you is just the Tier 1 repairs. We developed the repair program based upon Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 repairs. Tier 1 being the most urgent repairs, and the Tier 3 being the repairs that are not so urgent. And the first page of what I gave you is the summary of the Tier 1 repairs. And as you can see, we're looking at $750,000 to do this. Now, I certainly understand that we have limited financial abilities at the present time. But you saw what happened with the beach, so I hope that image is still clear in your mind. We certainly don't want to go through the process of just continuing to kick the can down the road with this and keep deferring maintenance. We want to, at some point in time, we want to make sure that we're addressing these needs as we go forward. So with that explanation, I'll open it up for any questions you might have.
I think I definitely agree on we don't want to kick the can. I was wondering, looking at this list, there's a lot of, as you were mentioning, energy efficiency. Has there been discussion with Alliant Energy or any of the electrics on what rebates or what things might be able to be worked on with them to reduce the cost or to get some of those funds back?
Yeah, Alliant Energy and Mid-America were involved in the initial energy audits, and what measures were recommended were eligible for rebates.
So yeah, it might be, not that we're ready, right now, but it might be helpful to have kind of an overview discussion with them to kind of get some ideas of what we could reap back, to understand where some of those things could come out if we had those rebates, looking at a budgeting to help give an understanding there.
Yeah, most of the rebate work that has been developed through Alliant and Mid-America, a lot of the low-hanging fruit has already been taken care of. What is in here are just still some of the straggling projects that are still remain to be done.
Thank you.
I just want to stress again, I think it's a good start. As Dwight mentioned, we're going to be faced with a really tight budget, but I think if we don't plan for it, it'll never happen. And so we've got to start thinking long-term, and we have some really nice facilities we want to take care of. And so having a level system where we can go tier 1, 2, and 3, and maybe take some of the high priority cases, I think will help us to at least have a plan that we can move down the road for the next 3 to 5 years and keep our buildings and equipment in good shape.
Yeah, super good work. It's nice to see this, something we haven't really made a priority. It's nice to see it. Good job, Dwight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dwight.
Thank you.
This is the time, place, and date set for a public hearing on the sale of city-owned property located at 811 East Mary in the city of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Kevin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Fishers offered the city $250 for a vacant lot located at 811 East Mary. Buyers on a rental property next to the city's vacant lot, and they wish to purchase a lot and use as extra yard space. The property will be transferred by quitclaim deed, and the buyer will pay the cost of publishing, public hearing notice, and recording fees.
Okay, this is a public hearing. If anyone has comments or questions or issues, now's the time to step forward. Anybody? Okay. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Burke?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Resolution number 1, 2020, accepting the offer and approving the sale of Lot 12, Block 15 in Clinton Place in addition to the city of Ottumwa, Wapello County, Iowa, also known as 811 East Mary, to Gary and Kamala Fisher for the sum of $250. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 1, 2020.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
I have a question, Your
Sure,
Honor.
go ahead.
Is that property east or of the house that wants to purchase it?
I'm not sure. I think it may be east of it, yes, because the house, the lot next to that lot is vacant. I can get back to you on that for confirmation of, I believe it is though, because the lot immediately adjacent to it is vacant.
Okay.
It's on the corner right next to, it looks like an alleyway there off McPherson to the west.
Is that where they just tore the house out? Just recently?
I don't think so. I think it's because it's wooded in the middle. I don't recall the address either. Not coming to mind. I could look into it. They'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any questions, comments? Ready for the roll call? Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Resolution number 2, 2020, removing a special assessment applied to a vacant lot on North McPherson, parcel number 7413500016000 on resolution number 284-2018. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 2, 2020.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Kevin, you have the floor again.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would correct myself. I think I was looking at the wrong map a moment ago. I believe that was a tear down on that last issue, but we'll get back with you on that one. The vacant lot at North McPherson, which was the map I was presently looking at, was mowed by the city in 2018, and a special weed assessment in the amount of $560 was placed on the property at the end of the mowing season. Real estate taxes on this lot have not been paid in years, so the city has not collected the special assessment. Now a neighbor would like to buy the property for Wapello County. A copy of the request is attached. Staff recommends removing the special assessment and allowing the sale of this lot to take place.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this item? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Resolution number
Thank you,
3,
Your Honor.
2020,
Thanks, Kevin.
approving change order number 1 in the amount of $870 for the Memorial Park Water Service Project. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 3, 2020.
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Gene, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On November 19th, 2019, the Ottumwa City Council approved a bid from KM King to repair and restore water service to Memorial Park for $9,300. On December 12th, 2019, the Parks Director received an invoice from KM King for $10,170. After starting the project, KM King realized that additional work was necessary, including 15 linear feet of 1-inch copper water line, 1 additional curb valve box, and 1 additional service connection at a cost of $870. This project is now complete.
Okay, questions, comments? Anything for Gene? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Resolution number 4, 2020, amending the agreement with Ottumwa Economic Development Corporation, now known as the Greater Ottumwa Partners in Progress, for the period of December 18th, 2019 to June 30th, 2020, and authorize the mayor pro tem to sign on behalf of the city of Ottumwa. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 4, 2020.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, does anybody want to comment on this? Tom? You want to
I
say?
think most people are aware of the fact that actually January 2nd, the official papers were sent to the Secretary of State for recording. Partners in Progress is now as the parent corporation for what used to be known as the Chamber and Economic Development. And so in order to keep our book straight and to have the right name and address, we're changing all of our paperwork to reflect that change. And I think Joni has already prepared everything and we're in good shape, but we wanted to make it official.
Okay, everybody clear on that one? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Resolution number 5, 2020, fixing an amount for abating a nuisance against properties in the city of Ottumwa, Iowa for a total of $2,738.46. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 5, 2020.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Kevin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nuisance abatements were performed by the city on all properties of this resolution. Costs for the abatements were billed out and have not been paid. Therefore, the costs will be assessed to the property taxes. Nuisance abatement costs on this resolution total $2,738.46.
Okay, any questions? Comments? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Resolution number 9, 2020, approve change order number 2 and 3 for the Main Street Downtown Streetscape Reconstruction Project. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 9, 2020.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Larry?
Change order 2 is for the addition of colored stamped concrete to replace the existing crosswalk at the intersection of Jefferson and Main Street at a cost of $3,987.50. Change order 3, item 1 was for traffic signal base concrete repair. Item 2 was for the replacement of step insert at 317 Main Street to become dislodged during utility installation. Item 3 was for the replacement of additional unsuitable trench fill. Item 4 adjusted the time and material cost to account for Davis-Bacon labor rate requirements for the installation of the private water services that was originally added to the base contract in change order 1, item 2. Change order 2 and 3 increases the contract amount by $12,127.22. The new contract sum is $5,138,680.88.
Okay. Questions, comments on this item? Okay, if there is none, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes. Thanks, Larry.
Resolution number 10, 2020, approve change order number 1 for the beach renovations Phase 4 slide structure repainting project. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 10, 2020.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Second.
Okay, Gene, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. The City Council approved the contract in the amount of $110,000 to Umongan Painting Company of Cherokee, Iowa through resolution number 174-2019 on August 6, 2019. This project entails the preparation and repainting of all the structural support steel for the 4 fiberglass slides and the slide tower at the beach at Ottumwa located at 101 Church Street. Change order number 1 includes additional caulking to seal numerous repair areas previously filled with pack rust on the slide tower. Change order number 1 increases the contract amount by $3,687.75 for a new contract sum of $113,687.75. And that makes the total Phase 4 costs a total of $633,427.17.
Okay. Comments and questions for Gene on this item? Okay, seeing none, go ahead and take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes. Thanks, Gene.
Resolution number 11, 2020, approve change order number 1 and accept the project as final and complete and approving the final pay request for the Beach Phase 4 RFP 1X kitchen floor resurface project. Recommendation pass and adopt resolution number 11, 2020.
Is there a motion?
Move the recommendation as presented.
Is there a second?
Second. Sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead again, Gene.
Beach Phase 4 RFP 1X installed new monolithic epoxy flooring system in the kitchen area to match the flooring in the lobby area. Change order number 1 increases the contract amount by $1,250 for additional work to apply the surfacing material to repair an exterior concrete countertop for a new contract sum of $7,960. The contractor has completed the above referenced work according to your request for proposals. This will authorize payment and release all retainages. The final amount due is $7,960. And that makes the total cost of Phase 4 $635,677.17.
Okay. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, Gene, when I was reading this the last few days, I guess I'll go back to the item just before this, but with the structure to the slides and now with this and $1,000 for a counter table, but I guess I tie it into Dwight's comments on facilities, and you're in there doing the floor in the kitchen, you see that needs to be replaced, and so you recommended that it be done at this time.
Yes.
And so that does update the facility and keep it, renew it, put it in good shape.
Yeah, if you walk through the beach right now, it looks like a brand new facility indoors and out. So this project was well worth it, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments for Gene on this item? Okay, take the roll, please, Chris.
Councilmember Stevens?
Yes.
Councilmember Myers?
Yes.
Councilmember Berg?
Yes.
Councilmember Dalby?
Yes. Thank you, Gene. Okay, move on down to the public forum part. This is the part of the meeting. If there are those in attendance who wish to address an item that is not on the agenda, go ahead and step forward and state your name, address. Okay, seeing none.
I thought Mr. Cavanis wanted to speak.
Keith, were you needing to say anything? Did you want to?
No, I'm not prepared to make any comments tonight.
Okay, no problem. All right, we'll move down to petitions and communications. There is one petition here from Mr. Tom Johnson. I'm not sure if he's in the crowd with us tonight. No, Mr. Tom Johnson's not here with us, I don't believe. Okay, is there any other communications from the council or administrator? Tom, go ahead.
I did put in your boxes today a letter from Mr. Johnson's attorney, so you should look that over. And we've referred it internally to our staff, and they'll be prepared to make a recommendation at the next meeting. And we'll have a formal hearing with the subject, Mr. Johnson, and Chief of Police at that next meeting.
Okay. Okay, seeing no other communication, we'll go ahead and recess for the purpose of having.
Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, if I could
Go
make
ahead.
a couple of comments before you
absolutely.
recess.
You bet.
I understand that at least you and perhaps Councilperson Holly Berg talked with McClure Engineering at the Dubuque Annual Conference,
Yes.
and they have contacted us. I want you to know that. And they are interested in visiting with the city about doing some development work at our airport. So I will respond to the young engineer that sent me the letter and keep you posted, but I just wanted you to know that they did follow up on your request.
Good deal.
Secondly, I can't tell you how pleased I am with the recent Supreme Court decision. I think it was a great decision for not just Ottumwa, but for all the cities that have police departments. Not to mention, too, the fact that we were on the hook for $57,315, which we will not have to pay now, and that money would have come directly out of our general fund. So that's a great decision for us. Thirdly, there is a legislative meeting. It's posted. We're going to visit Thursday night at 5:30 at Bridgeview. It's a very informal, just a chance to talk to local legislators about some of the issues that are pending at the state legislature. So I think the other thing I'd like to compliment our new finance director, Kayla Mulder. We had our first citywide budget meeting this morning with all the department people who touched the budgets. And I think she did a great job of giving some good PowerPoint slides and overview of where we're at financially. We've made no decisions at this point. We're simply looking at everything. And next week, we will actually start the departmental meetings with each one of the departments. And we've asked them to re-examine their budgets. They've given them to Christie already, but we've asked them to re-examine them to see if there's any adjustment that they can make in good faith so that we can bring a budget back to the council that's realistic and hopefully something you'll be comfortable with. And with that, I would close.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if there's no other communication from the council, then we will go ahead and recess for the purpose of conducting a closed session. Thank you and good evening. Time 6:19.